Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're zeroing in on the internet's absolute favorite obsession right now, passive income. We're going to cut right through the noise, separate the actual financial facts from the flashy internet myths, and figure out how lasting wealth is really created. I mean, picture this. You're scrolling online, and boom, someone pops up claiming, I make $10,000 every month while doing absolutely nothing. You know exactly the clips I'm talking about, right? The luxury car in the background, the pristine beach house, the influencer promising you can quit your job in 30 days or literally make money while you sleep. And honestly, it sounds incredible. But we really gotta take a step back here and ask ourselves, is any of this actually true? Or are we just getting a sneak peek at the final glamorous chapter of a super long, gritty story? So, part 1, the passive income illusion. Let's break this down by looking at two 26-year-olds. They both want financial freedom, but their mindsets are just completely night and day. First up, we've got Noah. Noah wants the shortcut. He sees the flashy ads and thinks, man, why am I grinding away for 40 hours a week when people are getting rich doing nothing? He's totally sold on the instant highlight reel. But then we have Sophia. She's a bit more skeptical. She looks at Noah and points out that, hey, maybe we're only seeing the highlight reel. She totally gets that building real lasting wealth behind the scenes takes actual, substantial work. Which brings us to section 2, the iceberg of efforts. So Noah decides to give it a shot. He throws together an online business over a single weekend, fully expecting the cash to just start rolling in by Monday. But instead, he runs smack into a brick wall of upfront effort. Think about it. He's spending weeks learning the ropes, building out a website, tweaking the product, dealing with a flood of customer questions, constantly marketing, and fixing endless mistakes. It literally takes him months before he sees any regular sales. And like Sophia tells him, passive income doesn't mean you don't work. It just changes when you do the work. It's the classic iceberg concept. You know, everyone sees the super profitable business, the viral channel, or that best-selling book floating right there above the water. But what they completely miss is the massive, invisible foundation hidden underneath. The hundreds of videos that got 0 views, the years spent writing in the dark, the countless early failures. And the reason this is so absolutely crucial for you to remember is that if you're only comparing yourself to the visible tip of someone else's iceberg, you're going to end up quitting before your own foundation is even built. Moving on to section 3, momentum and risk. Now, a lot of people think you have to be rich already to even start building passive income, but Sophia totally shatters that myth. She points out that, hey, nobody just instantly grows a full forest. Every forest starts with a single seed. Real wealth usually starts super small. We're talking about investors beginning with tiny monthly contributions, or creators putting out just one video, one design, or finding that very first customer. It's a gradual, step-by-step process, not some overnight magic trick. But the reality check doesn't stop there. A few months down the line, Noah notices his sales are suddenly drying up. He's totally frustrated and tells Sophia, wait, I thought this was supposed to be automatic. It's a tough pill to swallow, but passive income is absolutely not a flawless, 100% guaranteed machine. You can lose customers, investments can dip, rental properties can sit empty. Literally nothing of value is guaranteed without some kind of ongoing maintenance. So Sophia reframes the whole thing using the bicycle principle, which is such a great way to look at it. Think about riding a bike. The absolute hardest part is pushing the pedals when you're at a dead stop, right? But once you get some momentum, pedaling gets way easier. But here is the kicker. If you stop steering, you are going to crash. Passive income is exactly the same. Keeping it going takes way less effort than starting, but you still have to pay attention. It frees you up from the daily grind, sure, but managing risk, that's always going to be part of the ride. All right, section 4, stability through time. Noah was pretty obsessed with finding that one single perfect product. But let's think of your income like a table. If a table only has one leg, it's pretty shaky, right? Put any pressure on it and it topples over. But add 4 strong legs and suddenly it's rock solid. That's why financially successful people build multiple income streams over time. We're talking a mix of maybe a standard salary, some investments, digital products, maybe a better freelance work. Not because any one of those is flawless on its own, but because having a diversified setup seriously reduces your reliance on just one vulnerable source. In building up all those streams, that brings us to the bamboo effect. If you've ever watched bamboo grow, you know that for years, literally nothing seems to happen above ground. But underneath, the roots are spreading deep and wide, doing all this invisible, crucial work. And then bam! It shoots up incredibly fast. Long-term projects, whether it's an app, a blog, or an investment portfolio, feel exactly like that. I know, patience is not exciting. It's basically watching grass grow. But it is absolutely essential because those massive visible results almost always show up long after the invisible work started. Let's hit our final part, Section 5, the real wealth formula. Let's fast forward a whole decade. 10 years down the road, no one never actually found his magic shortcut. But he did build several small assets over time, a growing portfolio, a solid online course, maybe a newsletter. Sophia did exactly the same thing. And here's what's fascinating. Neither of them completely stopped working. But because they gradually built up those small assets, they earned the ultimate reward, choice. They finally had the freedom and flexibility to choose the projects they actually care about, to hang out more with their families, and they gained this profound peace of mind knowing their future wasn't completely tied to a single paycheck. Now, we definitely need to remember that there is no universal timeline here. Everyone's journey is going to look a little different. Things like your access to education, your starting capital, health, family responsibilities, and obviously the wider economy. All of these play a massive role in what's actually possible for you at any given time. Your path is uniquely yours, completely shaped by these highly personal and external variables. But even with all those shifting variables, the reality of lasting financial freedom really just boils down to creating value through some very concrete, practical actions. You've got to build valuable skills, create useful assets, invest consistently, diversify over time, and, as hard as it is, stay patient. The people who consistently do these things are the ones who ultimately manufacture their own opportunities, rather than just forever chasing empty shortcuts. So, the next time you're scrolling through your feed and some influencer is promising you totally effortless wealth, do yourself a favor. Protect your mindset and ask yourself, what part of the iceberg am I not seeing? Real financial freedom isn't found on an impossibly easy path. It's built one skill, one asset, and one smart decision at a time. The only real question left is, which seed are you going to plant today? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer. I'll see you in the next one.